Welcome back to another episode of Mr. Fincham's Fireside Follow-Alongs. I hope you guys have enjoyed this book as much as I have so far. Today, we are going to be wrapping up the final pages of Explorers, Triumphs, and Troubles. And we are going to start here on page 30. So without any further ado, here we go.
Explorers, Triumphs or Troubles?
So as you may remember, a triumph is just a success or an accomplishment, something they've achieved, right? And a trouble is a problem or an obstacle or a failing, something like that. So, explorers, triumphs, or troubles. Many explorers became heroes back at home, sometimes even if they failed. Scott of the Antarctic is a hero to many British people despite reaching the South Pole after his rival and then dying with all his men on the way back. But were the explorers of the past really heroes? Triumphs. Wealth. Exploration brought many countries great wealth. Spain, for example, became Europe's richest nation because of the treasure from its territories in the Americas. Each year, a treasure fleet brought gold, silver, jewels, pearls, and other valuables back to Spain. So if you lived in Spain at this time, or if you were part of the government or the leader, that is a triumph. You send out people to explore. They explore these areas, and then they come back and they bring you a lot of wealth or riches, right? That is a triumph. Triumphs, territory. Exploration allowed countries to expand their territory. Explorers paved the way for Britain to occupy lands in Africa, Asia, and Australia, for example. These new territories provided Britain with raw materials such as rubber and oil, and there were also places to sell British goods. So, if you are part of Britain, you want more land. You want to conquer or explore and then claim more land or territory, right? And the reason that you can do this is because it gives you raw materials. So the examples they give here are oil and rubber. Other examples of raw materials that you could get from conquering or claiming a land would be lumber, lots of trees, even farming land, certain stone minerals like, gold or silver, kind of like those listed above. So you can have a triumph in wealth, a triumph in territory. These are things that the explorers saw firsthand. And then we're going to read this little part up here. Do you know that the colonies produce over half the world's rubber and a third of the tin? That they are rich in sugar, tea, coffee, cocoa, and fruits? That colonial copper, gold, and oil are increasingly important. All right, and we are going to go on to page 31. Troubles. So now we have two troubles listed. Troubles. Land thieves. The lands explorers found already belonged to other people. They occupied the lands without permission, often by force. Sometimes the explorers enslaved the local people, and the wealth they sent home was not theirs to take. So, there are many examples of this happening in history, where there are a certain group of people living in an area, and somebody else who they have never seen or met before arrives on their land, claims it as their own, and starts taking their riches, right? It's just something that humans do, or did. It's part of the trouble that comes along with being an explorer, right? And troubles. Spreaders of disease. Explorers often brought new diseases with them. Millions of people died as a result. In many places, these diseases decimated the local population. To the people whose lands they reached, many explorers were definitely not heroes. So I think what they mean by that is, if you met an explorer, if you lived on an island, let's say, you live on an island, you and your people, and an explorer arrives with his soldiers. They land on your island, they take your gold, they take your money, they take your food, they start chopping down your trees, they use your farms. Are those explorers heroes to you? Probably not. Probably not, right? But on the other side of the coin, if you are in, let's say, the Spanish government and you want to explore the world, you send somebody out, like Christopher Columbus or whoever, out at sea to go exploring. That person comes back months or years later, and they have an enormous amount of money, and they've discovered new animals and new territories and interesting cultures, and they have all these things to show for their trip. Are they a hero? I mean, you might think that they are. Exploring is dangerous. This book has told us all of the troubles and the dangers that explorers have to deal with. Disease, they have to deal with the weather, they have to deal with, angry tribes, treacherous land, mountains, deserts, all of those things. So if somebody can survive that and come back with stuff that's extremely valuable, you might consider them a hero, right? So it kind of depends on what perspective you're looking at it from. Are they a hero? Are they not? And we're going to finish up here with the last paragraph. At the time, few explorers thought they were doing anything wrong. For example, they did not know their diseases would kill millions. But does that make it acceptable? What do you think? Can we judge the triumphs and troubles of explorers based on things we know, but they did not? So can we judge them based on things that we know now, but they did not? Now, of course, it's not acceptable to spread diseases, right? But if they didn't know they were doing it, if it was an accident, if they just simply were unaware of it, of course, we should still recognize that it happened, but should they be held accountable? Should we call that, should we say that that's their fault? I don't know. I think it's a complicated question. It's a complicated question. So we are going to finish there with our explorers' triumphs and troubles. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this book. What did you think was the most interesting part? What did you think was a part, maybe you didn't know about before, something that you learned? You can shoot me a message on Seesaw or write me an email. Leave it in the YouTube comments below. Anything that you thought was interesting about this book, I want to hear about it. I want to hear your thoughts. And for today, your reading writing task is going to be an opinion piece. So here is your opinion piece question. What do you think? Did the explorers cause more triumphs or troubles? Give 3 reasons from the text. So of course, this book tells us, look, explorers, they caused both, right? They caused a lot of troubles, but they also had a lot of triumphs, right? They had a lot. The question is asking you, what do you think? If you had to pick that they caused more triumphs or more troubles, which one do you think? And then you're going to choose a side, and you're going to give me 3 reasons from this book that helps support your decision. So, one more time. What do you think? Did the explorers cause more triumphs or troubles? Give 3 reasons from the text. Also, for today, you will find a weekly reading quiz on the ELA questions and tasks under Friday. I want you guys to make sure that you do that. It is very short. It's not very long. But it is something that you guys need to do. So, before we sign off for the day, I want to talk to you guys about a text feature. Okay, so on the next page here, on page 32, we run into something called the glossary and the index. You guys are going to find these in nonfiction books. Okay, these are important and they'll help you, and here's why. I know we've talked about this earlier in the year, but it's always good to have a little refresher, right? So the glossary.
Glossary.
It's kind of like a dictionary. It has words from the book, and it gives you definition for the words. So, for example, mutiny, right? We came across that word earlier in the book, and we don't use it every day. You don't say the word mutiny every day. So what they do is they put it in the glossary so that you can see what it means when you come across it, right? So British India, that is just an area of South Asia that was part of the British Empire between 1858 and 1947. Decimated. If something is decimated, it's greatly reduced or destroyed. And so we have all of these things down here, all of these words that were in this book with the definitions. So anytime you guys read, a science book or anything else that's nonfiction, there's almost always going to be a glossary. So if you ever come across a word in the readings that you don't know, flip to the back and check out the glossary. Look up that definition so that you understand what they mean or what that thing is as they're describing it. Okay. Another text feature is the
Index.
index. So the index is important because it helps you find what you're looking for before you read. So if, let's say, before you read this book or even afterwards, if you wanted to know about Christopher Columbus, where in this book is Christopher Columbus talked about? Well, look in the index. Christopher Columbus, page 4. And so that way you know exactly what page to turn on. Also has a phrase like fame and glory. Where can I find fame and glory mentioned in this book? Well, it's going to be on pages 5, 7, and 30. Maybe you're looking for the Silk Road. Maybe you're looking for Marco Polo. Make sure that you are looking in the books at the index and at the glossary whenever you need. So don't forget they're there. That is all I have for you guys today. I appreciate you guys following along with me for our book, Explorers, Triumphs, and Troubles. And I will be back on Monday with a new text to read aloud to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this book as much as I did. And remember to let me know your thoughts either on Seesaw in the comment section below or through email. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.